Good morning, this is Matt with 88 HVAC. I'm going to be hooking up two Nest thermostats to a radiant heating system that's going to be going into a house in San Francisco. Basically, we only need 3 wires, one for power, common, and W for heat. We typically always pull a little bit more just in case something happens, so we have 4 wires here. Bear with me, and we'll go through this installation in a second. Okay, so here's the Nest thermostat kit. It comes with your Nest thermostat on your right. It comes with a wiring base, a multi-purpose screwdriver, which the head comes out, and you have a Phillips to extract out your old thermostat if it's a Phillips head. And on the bottom of this kit, there is a beauty ring that comes with the kit, just in case the space that you're trying to cover on your wall doesn't fit. So it comes with a nice beauty ring that could be painted. Okay, so again, what I'm going to be doing today is installing this Nest into this thermostat area that controls the upstairs zone of a radiant floor system, and maybe some other parts or tools that you may need to this install that could be handy is a multimeter. This is something where you can buy from Sears. It's very easy. You just set it to whatever voltage or whatever you need it to be, and it automatically switches back and forth from AC or DC. Your leads click into the back, tuck away. If you ever need to, you have an amp meter and a diagnostics toning device right here to check if your wires have continuity or not, and ohm meter. Okay, and it automatically turns off for you. Another handy dandy tool is a pair of wire strippers. These are my control snippers, very small. They're used to strip my insulation off my wires. And I typically buy a bunch of these. This is just a basic 6-in-1 screwdriver that you can get from your local Home Depot. I always lose these things, so I buy them by 5 or 6 at a time, and they're only going to cost you no more than $3. So there you have it. We'll be installing this Nest and going over some control wiring for the radiant system. Typically a radiant system only has a 2-wire, which is just like an on and off contact, but this Nest is going to need some power, so we'll go over a couple troubleshooting things here. Alright, thanks. Okay, here we are. We're going to be mounting the base of the Nest, and basically I took the liberty of going ahead and stripping off some of these control wires. Again, I used a 4-wire conductor because sometimes we nick wires, or kind of like Murphy's Law, so we just pull one more just in case one of those wires gets nicked up. So what we're going to be using today is the red, the white, and the blue. And where these are going to land on this is going to be, the white's going to land on W1, the red is going to land on the RH, and the blue is going to land onto the C of this base. Okay, let's see if we can do this one-handed. Okay, so I prepped up the hole previously. I made it center to wherever you want it to be centered, and what I did is I mounted the base up to the wall, and I looked at the leveling bubble that comes with the base, which is a great feature of this Nest. Now we don't have to carry around a mini level. So what I did here is I went ahead and I punched 2 little holes to give me my markings on the wall. After centering it on my light switch, if that's what you want to do. And since I notice I have nothing in the back holding this, just sheetrock, and I'm kind of skeptical just screwing these screws in, even though they'll probably bite. What I'm going to probably be using today is either some sheetrock anchors or just your basic anchors. Okay, these easy anchors are heavy duty. They'll bite, and they have poundage ratings where how many pounds these things can hold up to. And you can buy these at your local Home Depot or hardware store. Okay, so I'm going to choose to use these, and what I'm going to be needing is my handy dandy 6-in-1. Okay, and I'm going to take the small side of the 6-in-1 and gently twist and push. Okay, don't push too hard. Okay, so I made my 2 holes. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna make my 2 holes for my anchors with the small side. Okay, with the small side of the 6-in-1 Phillips. Then I'm going to take my anchors and insert them into the holes. Okay. Then with the back end of the 6-in-1, I cap flush the anchors. Okay, you want them flush to the wall, a little sunken into the sheetrock. If you don't, what happens is the base gets lifted off and your thermostat doesn't get a good base spine and it wobbles back and forth. Then I'm gonna, insert the screws in there that came with the unit, and screw it in. The reason why I use these anchors is because this is just strictly sheetrock. And again, as I said earlier, these screws may hold it, but I don't want to take the chance. So I'm putting some supports into the back. Okay? Again, look at your level onto the nest and get it right to where you want it to get it. Okay? Then do your final turns to tighten her down. Don't over tight, because remember, you're only on anchors. And that's what we're looking like. Then what I typically do is I take this excess wire and I just push back into the wall, because who knows when we may need to pull wire again. You need to pull it back out. Don't cut it too short. In the beginning, anytime you're working with control wires or electrical, you should turn off your power, and I've done this already, so just make sure everything is turned off. Okay, here we go with the installation of the wires of the nest. So what I'm going to be doing is pushing the excess wire back into the hole, and I'm going to take the wires that I already pre-stripped, insert it into the hole, depress the wire holder, and it is holding. And for the white, I do the same thing. And for my heat, I do the same thing. RH is for your heating, RC is for your cooling. Okay, tuck that back in there. Okay, everything looks good, tight. Take your NES. Okay, make sure that that base slot is, okay, inserted gently into this. You don't want to force it, just feel around to make sure it sets in, and go ahead and depress it. And voila, your NES is installed. Hey, this is Matt with 88 HVAC. I'm doing my second part of hooking up a Nest thermostat to a Radiant system. My Radiant control board is a Honeywell board. It doesn't matter if it's a Honeywell Zone board or a Taco ZVC board. They're all able to power up a Nest thermostat. So this board that I'm looking at here, this Honeywell, controls these three 24-volt zone actuators that go out to my manifolds. Each zone is labeled 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and underneath is a red and a W, R and a W, that hook up to a regular thermostat. Now for a Nest, we need one more wire, and that wire is to let the Nest take power off this transformer. Okay, we want to use the same transformer as where the Nest is getting the red from. You don't want to use two thermostats. If you do, you're going to probably have to use some sort of isolation relay. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is find out where my main 24 volts are coming into this board. And on this board, it's sitting over here. Sorry it's dark. I'm in a mechanical room, so I'm going to land my leads. What you're going to be needing is a Fluke multimeter or some sort of voltmeter. Again, I like using this Fluke T5600. On sale, you can get it for like 80 bucks. It's very easy, very simple, and forgiving automatic multimeter. Okay. So again, I'm going to land my multimeter on the leads on red and common, and I can see my transformer is giving us 26 volts. Okay, I'm hot. Now to find out where your thermostat wires are, I use red and white and blue. Okay, so going up to that Nest, I want to check the red to the common, and I'm sending my Nest 26 volts. So I know my Nest is getting powered, so I know the Nest is getting powered up. My other wire, which is the W left over, is going to go next to this terminal on the R, and I know when the Nest calls for heat, it's going to drop this connection and call for the zone to open. Okay, we're going to go back upstairs in a second and see how everything worked out. Hang tight.